I want to make just a very quick video here. I wanted to showcase a considerably unique stock repair that I did here, just to show you, you know, a few of the ideas you might use on your own if you ever encounter this type of situation. What I've got here is a Winchester Model 100 semi-automatic, based loosely on the M1 carbine type action. But anyway, what happened is my buddy's dad actually dropped the gun out of the deer stand and broke the stock right in half. Now, if you've seen the stocks on the Winchester Model 100, you know that they're very thin right along this axis. It's just a really flimsy type of stock design. Well, anyway, the stock split all the way in half from here to here, which I'm going to show you up close here in a moment. That's actually a very sensitive area for that to occur. As you can see, I've Acro glassed it back together, and the technique that I used is I actually took the drill press and I drilled holes along the middle of the wood up along this crack in both sides, and then I filled everything with Acro glass and clamped it together, and I let it sit up about 6 days, and it's a, I mean, very, very solid repair. It's not going nowhere. Let me get some close-ups of this and show you. Alright, so you can see here where I actually did the repair. The split goes, of course, along both sides. You can see the crack going right there. Now, it's not absolutely perfect, but I really wish I would have got before video showing where all this occurred, because basically the rifle was brought to me with the stock taped together with tape, basically. What I did was I filled everything in with Acro glass and then blended it in with sandpaper. It's not the most perfect repair in the world, but considering that the cheapest stock of this type with this checkering that I could find for sale was almost $300. So I saved this person about $300 by doing this stock repair. It's a functional stock repair. It's not the most beautiful looking thing in the world. I've stained the stock. He wanted it refinished. I used rusty walnut wood stain from Birchwood Casey, and we've been following up with a few coats of True Oil. Okay, this is just one coat of True Oil. You can see that it just absorbs all that dang oil. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you guys, I'll put another coat of True Oil on this stock and just show you guys how I do that process. But I just really wanted to showcase the stock repair itself, because it's a really unique type of repair that you're not going to encounter very often. And it was really more of an experiment, because it's the first time that I had really encountered that type of break in the stock. But we'll see. I mean, future shooting with it will show if it holds up well or not. It definitely looks good enough. I mean, and it beats having to buy a $300 stock. Let's put another coat of True Oil on this stock while we got the camera going. Alright, so before we put the True Oil on this stock, we're going to just take some 4/0 steel wool and just work down some of the areas that have sheened over a good bit. Because what the Acro glass actually does is it helps fill in the wood grain a little bit, and of course provides a wonderful oil finish. Alright, see, especially right there, there's a big glob right there sat up in that area. It's a little bit of work, but I think the end result is going to be extremely pleasing. I've done this quite a bit, so alright. What we'll do, when we're done here, what we'll do is we'll take some cheesecloth and go over it with some cheesecloth just to make sure we get all the residual pieces of steel wool off of the wood itself. And then we'll follow up with some Acro glass, or True Oil. That looks real nice. Now, this stock is still pretty thirsty. It's going to take probably about 4 or 5 coats of True Oil to get it to fill in like we want it. But mainly I want to show the stock repair, and I'll show this True Oil in action just because I haven't done much stock stuff recently. So, alright, we got the stock tacked cloth off. I'm going to show you how I apply this True Oil. Actually, all I do is I just slather it on with my fingers. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It works well, and you don't have to worry about getting any kind of residue on the stock itself from cotton fibers or anything of that nature. This method works well because you're kind of caking it on. It just kind of flows into every crevice exactly the way you want it to, alright? I'm a military guy, so on rifles, really depending on just about no matter what kind of rifle, I like a nice hand-rubbed oil finish on a rifle, especially an old classic rifle. If you're doing military surplus and things of that nature, I mean, you've got to have that nice hand-rubbed oil finish on the stock. Now what's going to happen is this True Oil is pretty much going to soak into the stock over a course of probably about a day. And basically what I do is I'm just going to repeat this process a number of times to get the desired result. I don't care who you are, that's gun porn right there, man. Look at that oil finish. We're going to slather it on, man. Now, if you've ever wondered, if you go to a gunsmith and you ask him about stock repair, about stock refinishing, anything of that nature in terms of what he charges, I mean, you can generally see why it's such an expensive task to undergo, because it is a time-consuming task. But basically, we're just going to repeat the process and apply the oil to the surface of the wood. I'm going to repeat this process probably all in all about overall 5 times or so until we get the desired sheen. And then all you do is just take your 4/0 steel wool and buff that down to the desired satin finish that you want. But there's a little stock work for you. We're going to let this sit up. I'll probably show the finished result when it's all said and done.